die for the last time.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Sean bienvenidos al capítulo 6 de Tavo, PodCast, la cuarta temporada. No se olviden de darle like al video, suscríbanse al canal, háganle clic a la campanita para que cada vez que subamos un video se les avise. También pueden seguirnos en nuestras cuentas de Instagram y de TikTok, donde siempre estamos subiendo información acerca del metal nacional e internacional. También pueden darse una vuelta por el Facebook de Tavo Podcast, donde siempre estamos actualizando con novedades del metal a nivel mundial. Si quieren escribirme o mandar alguna información, pueden hacerlo a angel-gustavog@hotmail.com. Hemos estado un poco alejados del podcast debido básicamente a temas de fiestas, de fin de año y de ocupaciones familiares y laborales. Pero ya retomamos el podcast. Y lo vamos a retomar de una manera muy buena. El pasado 21 de diciembre tuve el agrado de entrevistar a Rozz, guitarrista de Death, actual guitarrista de Left to Die, banda que se va a presentar este 21 de enero en el Gil Rock. Las entradas están a la venta en Join Us y también en las diversas tiendas de Galerías Brasil. Sin más que decirles, les dejo con esta gran entrevista con Rozz de Left to Die.
There we go.
Hi, Rick.
How you doing? How you doing?
Fine. Here with.
Sorry about the delay there.
No problem. We are just in time. It's okay. So what's the weather now in Miami?
I'm in Orlando. I'm in
Orlando.
Apopka, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
an hour.
I'll show you. Hold on.
Okay.
It's supposed to be cooling off. It's supposed to get down into like the high 40s and in the evening and low 60s during the day for the next couple of days. So it's kind of gloomy. So a little gloomy and a little bit of a light rain.
Okay. But not cold like New York.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I just thought I'd show you instead of explaining.
Yeah, it's better. Here we are cool. We are in the middle of the spring, and the sun is rising every day. So when you came to Lima, you are going to enjoy the Lima summer.
So that's what the promoter was saying. So you don't get any snow in the winter.
No, nothing.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
So you're like January is like your summer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Great.
Yeah.
I won't be cold. I don't like the cold.
That's cool. Okay, Rick. It's a pleasure for me as a death metal fan to have you here in my podcast, Tavo. And let's talk about a little bit, because you are going. I know that you are tired about the same questions every time, but
no, it's totally fine. And one thing before you get started, it's my pleasure to be on your podcast, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. When you met Chuck, I read many interviews. You met when you were in high school, I think, with Cam Lee. You started Mantas, and you met him in a party, and then you started playing with him.
Yes, sir. Met Cam in high school. Cam and I started Mantis. Then I met Chuck at a backyard party and introduced him to Cam. And then Chuck basically joined Mantis.
Yeah.
And then Chuck changed the name later on. Yes, to Death.
What happened? And I don't know if you know the answer. What's the main reason because Chuck left Miami and went to LA, to San Francisco?
Chuck was also in the Altamont Springs area where I grew up. So there's no Miami involved in Death.
Okay.
The Death started in Altamont Springs, Florida.
Okay. So why
no Miami?
No Miami. Sorry.
I have no idea.
But
I
you
have
were,
no idea why.
but you,
I wasn't with him when he made those decisions.
but you were rehearsing with him at that time.
When he came back, yes.
Okay, and then
I know he went to Canada to join Sacrifice.
yeah,
Then he came back to Altamont Springs. Then
okay.
he went to San Francisco, where he met Chris Reifert,
Yeah.
and they did the Scream Bloody Gore record.
And when he returned, you rejoined the Death Camp and started the tour, the Scream Bloody Gore tour.
Yeah, we were doing supposed to do a massacre show. The massacre show didn't happen with Megadeth and Overkill, and a gentleman came up to me and told me that Chuck was back in town, and I had no idea. And I went to his house the next day. He was a little flustered, that I was at his door because there was no cell phone. Yeah. And I told him I had some information that you might be interested in. He called me the next day. We got together, and then I called Bill and Terry, and Bill and Terry and I joined Death. We left Massacre and joined Death, which Massacre was Bill Andrews' band.
Okay, and then you started the Scream Bloody Gore tour.
We did Scream Bloody Gore rehearsals, and then we did the Scream Bloody Gore tour in 1987. So,
did you have any involvement in the Scream Bloody Gore songs?
I wrote Infernal Death and Evil Dead. Okay. But I didn't get any credit. I didn't get any credit for it, but that's fine. And Cam Lee also wrote the original lyrics for Infernal Death and Evil Dead, which were done in the early days in the garage. And so the songs the music stayed the same, but Chuck changed the lyrics and made it his own.
Okay. What are your more precious memories about those years, about the years in the Scream Bloody Gore tour or recording the Leprosy album?
No, all of it was great. I never experienced anything like that. You know what I mean? It was just, we were all friends. We were young. I think we were 20 when we started the Scream Bloody Gore tour. Excuse me. No problem. We did it in a van in a winter. It was freaking cold as hell, and I don't like the cold. But we got it done. And we were writing songs for the Leprosy album on that tour. Recorded the Leprosy record. That was my freshman record, my very first record I ever recorded. And I believe it's the same goes for Terry and Bill. So yeah, we were very excited. It was great. I mean, we're all kids, I think that came out, that was the following year. So we were 21 putting out our first record all together. Chuck already put a record out, but Chuck finally had a full band. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And do you have any?
It was really good times. We had a lot of fun, and there's no drinking, no drugs. It was like totally like stone sober silliness fun. It was killer.
That's good. But when do you have any experience before the recording of the Leprosy album in a big studio like the Morris Sound?
Oh no, that was great recording at Morris Sound. Yeah, we got Dan Johnson did the record. He worked with he did the first 2 Sabotage releases and some other stuff I don't remember off the top of my head, but what a great guy. And and Scott Burns engineered it, so who became a very famous death metal producer in the future after that. So we were the first death metal band to record at Morris Sound Studios. So
before the death, you rejoined or restarted Massacre with Cam Lee. And finally, after death? Yeah, after that, when you left that, and
well, I was fired.
Well, I don't want. I didn't leave. I don't want to say that, but I read it.
No, it's cool. I don't have no problem with the truth, man. It's cool.
Massacre. Finally, Massacre bring you here to Peru in 2013. I think. Was the first time in South America or in any country?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With that lineup, with Terry Butler, Ed Webb, and Mike Mazzanetto. Yes, sir.
And how was do you remember the Peruvian metalheads. Do
Oh,
you
it's
remember
great.
the
The
gig?
promoter was the promoter. I don't remember his name, but I mean, the whole experience was great, man. I don't. It's all an experience. You get to meet people, and people are coming to see you, and it's very flattering. So I have no complaints about anything. It was all great stuff.
So,
Beautiful country.
how the Left to Die tribute started?
I gave Gus Rios a call one day. Had seen the Living Monstrosity thing that they did with James Murphy.
Yeah,
So it was
I
just
saw
a
it.
question. I was like, so I gave Gus a call. I was like, hey, you think, Matt would be interested? Because I hadn't talked to Terry since I left Massacre back in 2016, I think it was, on the DTA tour with Obituary. Long story short, I called Gus. I was like, you think Matt would be interested? And he pretty much said, no, there's a bear shit in the woods. And I said, well, the main thing is, if Terry would be cool with doing it, you know what I mean? So a few days later, the thumbs up were given. And I think within like a couple of weeks, there was a tour booked. And I was like, holy shit, I got to learn all these freaking songs. I didn't know. I had no idea it was going to happen, man. I swear, man. I swear. But yeah, so that's how it happened. I made a phone call and Gus got in touch with everybody and everybody was cool with it. And I had to relearn 36-year-old songs that I hadn't played in many, many years. But you know what? It's a lot of fun and they're great guys, man. And I wouldn't change a thing. And it's a blessing.
And who came with the name Left to Die?
Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey, the
Yes.
guitar and the vocals.
Correct. Also the guitarist and vocalist of Gruesome. But yeah, he came up with the original logo too. And then, yeah. But anyway, yeah. But with Left to Die, Matt came up with the logo and he's doing all the vocals and yeah. And the name
and he did a very, very awesome work.
No, he's a badass, and so is Gus Rios, and so is Terry Butler. It's really, really cool. I'm the one that makes the most mistakes. So
Gus and Matt are like
monsters.
But they are loyal fans to your legacy and the legacy of Chuck Schuldiner.
That's why they do it as perfection what they're doing.
Yeah,
literally. I think Matt is doing a great job on guitar and on vocals. I mean, there's nobody could do these two records better than that. And Gus is playing everything just like the record. He's not improvising. So anyway, we've got really good feedback. So I'll stop ranting and I'll shush. You ask what do you want to talk to me about? I'm sorry.
No problem.
I made my peace with Chuck. You know what I mean? I saw Chuck. There was no hatred. There was no hatred the last time I saw Chuck. There was no nothing, and it was cool, man. It was cool stuff.
Talking about guitar and influence. When you started, you pick up the guitar instead of the bass or instead of the drums because of who?
I actually did pick up the bass first. And then I couldn't hear. I never said this. I really did have I had a bass at first, but I couldn't hear it without an amp. So the first record that I received, that was in Florida. But when I was in New York City in 1977, the year we moved to Florida, in Brooklyn, New York, my father brought home Steve Miller's "Fly Like an Eagle." But the very first guitar player I heard was the Steve Miller Band, and I was a kid. I was 10 years old. So I don't know if that influenced me to play guitar, but then I went to a jukebox. My mom worked at this place, and I would walk across the street, and I went to a jukebox at this pizza place, and I saw the name Black Sabbath.
Okay.
And I said, this is and I pressed the thing. I think it was Iron Man, pretty sure.
Yeah.
But as far as like guitar players that I was emulating, like with a tennis racket, Ace Frehley all day long.
And then you bought your first guitar. What happened with that?
Learned "Smoke on the Water."
Yeah.
Not the whole song, just the first riff.
The first riff, like every metalhead.
I never learned a whole cover song ever. But then I learned how to do bar chords, and I would learn a part of an AC/DC song or a Black Sabbath song, and then I would kind of just fiddle fart around with my own stuff. especially when I started hearing metal. You know what I mean? I never really wrote any rock and roll songs. So I was in my very first band was called Hidden Force, and yeah, we had a couple of originals and some covers, and we did a talent show. And anyway, yeah.
And with Hidden Force, do you release a demo or just
No?
And that started everything in your guitar career.
Yeah, but pretty much, yeah. Just there really wasn't a career, you know, until I met Chuck, until the band was put back together in 1987 with Bill and Terry. Then I guess that was a career. I mean, I wasn't looking at it to be a career. I just wanted to play. I didn't think about money and living and bills. And
in those years, all that lineup was thinking to make records and to make tour. And what that's your goal in that age?
Well, I assumed that was going to happen, but you know, like I said, once again, the mind, you know, everybody's mind is different. So if the singer, which is the main person, you know, if you're not the singer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the singer makes the decisions, let alone he's a guitar player too. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, every band has a leader in some way.
Well, I mean, I lead myself, and I think Terry leads himself, and I think Bill led himself too.
Yeah.
That Chuck didn't lead me anywhere. We put a band together for him. And I'm not meaning that in a bad way. He had nothing. He was here with a record, and he was by himself in Florida. And I went to his home and offered him a bass. And Terry and Bill didn't even know I was calling Chuck. So, anyways, there's no leadership. We were all equal. Everybody was equal. There's no leadership. There's no leadership in Left to Die. Everybody's equal. Everybody does their own thing. Everybody gets paid the same. You know what I mean? It was like that back in Death too. There was no, you know, we tried to, at least I tried to make it that way. Anyways, yeah, it's good. So no disrespect to the Dead and to Chuck, but he was not our leader. Okay. He made his final decision was the final decision, though. Does it make you a leader?
And I read in some interviews, I don't know if I'm correct, but you said that you are a lazy guitar player.
Very lazy. Very lazy.
What do you
I haven't even started practicing. I haven't even started practicing for the tour. It's in a month or 2 months.
And also, you said that you are a rhythm player. You don't like to make solos, guitar solos.
Sorry.
No problem.
I would definitely rather be I definitely wanted to be a rhythm player. I think the riff is what the song is all about. Of course, you need drums and bass, and I'm not disrespecting any instrument. Of course, I can't play any of those instruments like a lot of people that I know. But I think the riff and then the vocal is the top. Yeah. Like you have a really cool, catchy riff, and you have nothing else. Like you could play a riff with no drums, no bass, and people are like, "Fuck yeah!" You know what I mean? And then what makes it even, the little icing on the top, I think, is a badass vocal that goes with that style of music, no matter what style of music it is. And that's all I got, man. That's it.
Nice.
That's my opinion. My opinion only. Hello, Peru. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah. Talking about the Left to Die, your last tour. No, this is the first time you tour in South America, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And your last tour was in Europe.
Yeah, we've done 2 tours of Europe, 2 tours of the U.S. on the East and the West Coast, and then a little central run. And then we did a little run a weekend in Mexico. And now we're coming to South America. Yes.
Yeah, just started in Brazil, I think. And then on January 21, you are going to play in Lima, Peru. You know that Peruvian fans are so loyal to the first records of the first Death records. And do you change the set list? Do you bring some new songs, or you're attached to the same set list that you play on the last tour?
They randomly change. I mean, it depends. You know what I mean? Even though you can go and watch the set list on YouTube, I believe seeing it live is different.
Yeah.
Like in front of when you're in the room. But we kind of have the set list set right now. Regardless of what we're going to play, I feel the Peruvian fans have never heard or seen Death with Chuck Schuldiner, right? Let alone these two records. So I'm going to say that regardless of what Left to Die plays, they're going to enjoy it, and it's going to sound just like the record, and it's going to be fucking cool.
Yeah, I know. You played all the Leprosy songs, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That whole record is being played. So the things that change is pretty much the Scream Bloody Gore songs. But Leprosy, every time, it's totally in. It's from start to finish with in between Scream Bloody Gore songs that randomly change.
With that set list, we are going to be so fucking pleased. No problem with that. Everybody's going to be happy and crazy in the mosh pit with
no, I remember the Masker show was unbelievable. So I can only imagine what this is going to be like. I'm looking forward to it. It's great, man. You know, I know a lot of people in Peru, and I have friends in Peru that I made back in 2013. You know,
and do you bring some merchandising, the T-shirt?
I believe we have something set up with the promoter to have some shirts made. I don't know what designs are being made or what they look like, but I'm pretty sure there'll be merchandise available. Yes.
Also, I read I don't know if it was the first interviews that Left to Die gave, that you are like thinking about making songs with the band, new songs.
It's been talked about. We haven't recorded anything yet. There are a couple of riffs floating around.
Yeah.
But we haven't. I mean, you have to understand, Gus has got a very big schedule, not even in anything to do with metal. All Gus does during the week and the weekends is he plays guitar and sings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he does for a living when he's home.
Yeah.
And then he has Matt Harvey that has Exhumed. Gruesome has a new record coming out, which is Matt and Gus. Mm-hmm. They're going to tour. And of course, Terry Butler is an obituary. They tour all the time. So it's all like Terry says, if the planets align, it'll happen. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, man. You know, it's all getting in the same room or
sooner or later.
If it's meant to be, it'll happen. So, yeah, that's all I can say. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. Yeah.
Well, Rick, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for your time. Can you?
No, thank you for your time, Angel, very much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. You're going to come to the show?
So please invite all your Peruvian fans, because you have many Peruvian fans of you, or Rick Rozz, not dead. Rick Rozz has a huge fans here because your style, your solos, and many people have you like a
Stop it.
Really. So tell him your final words, please.
Well, that's very flattering. Sincerely mean that. And God bless everybody. And I will see you, God willing, in January, the 21st. Is that what you said the date is?
Yeah, the 21st.
Oh, I actually remembered that. So the 21st. So 1 month from tomorrow.
Yeah, 1 month from tomorrow. Yep.
No, 2 months from tomorrow.
2 months.
Sorry.
No problem.
But no, I seriously, I'm looking forward to coming back to Peru. It's going to be a good time. Will you be at the show, Angel?
Of course.
All right, cool.
I was at the Massacre tour the first time.
We did not meet, did we?
No.
Okay.
I didn't have the pleasure, but I want to have.
Well, I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you either. So I'll see you in Peru on the 21st, God willing. And thank you, everybody in Peru, all the Left to Die fans. If I have my own fans, that's very flattering. And anyway, I don't know how to accept that. It's very cool. And I really appreciate your time, Angel. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. See you here.
Take care of yourself.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be well.